had me and Carrie got some questions out, and then kind of things that I just kind of run through anytime. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what do you do here?
Okay, my name is Mrs. Sheila Williams. I am the girls' physical education and health instructor for 6th graders. I've been here at Wilson for 27 years. This year makes 27 years. And I've always been at Wilson Middle School. I've never been anywhere else.
That's good. So what made you get into education? Like, what's your education background?
Well, actually, education wasn't my first choice. Actually, I wanted to be an airline stewardess. Unfortunately, I was only 17 when I graduated from high school, and during those times, you had to have your parents' signature. And Mom didn't want me going flying away with the friendly skies of Delta Airlines, so she didn't sign the paper, and I wound up in college. And my first major was psychology, but by the time I got to my junior year, one of my professors told me that I would have to go probably 2 to 3 years beyond that to actually do something and make some money in psychology. So I said, hey, that's just a little bit too long for me. What can I do with where I am now without having to change altogether and be behind? So I had most of the classes that education majors would major in, so I changed my major to secondary education. And my concentration was physical education and health.
That's good. I know that's what I was a freshman at IU before I transferred here to Ball State. And my first was psychology. Then I went in childhood development, and then I wanted to do like child psychology. And I was like, I know I've always wanted to do something with kids, but I just didn't know what. And then I ended up transferring over. I was like, Ball State was a good school for education, so I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go for education. And I love English, so I was like, I couldn't do nothing else but English, so I definitely went to secondary. So, well, that's cool. Like I said earlier, our chapter is called Training the Young. Can you kind of give me your definition?
Yeah.
There we go.
Hi,
Hi, this is Carrie.
Sorry, I'm late. I got lost on the way here. I'm going to meet you.
Okay. We just started, Carrie. She just told us a little bit about her background. You know, where she's from. She's from New Orleans. No.
New Orleans, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay, New Orleans. I was going to say Louisiana.
It is.
But the city, New Orleans. The city that never sleeps, I guess.
Yes. Sin City, USA. French quarters and all.
Yeah. I want to go down there one day. Or one day I want to go down there just to see what it's like.
Well, you should go next week for the Mardi Gras.
Oh, is it next week?
Next week, yeah. Tuesday, next Tuesday. But the balls and parades and all that starts. It's a whole week leading up. And kids are out of school.
Really?
Yeah.
They get after this whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, I guess.
Well, we just get out in case we have a snowstorm.
I know you missed that. I would definitely miss that.
I miss the food.
Yeah.
An occasion and.
Well, we just started. I was just going to ask her, what's her kind of your definition of training the young with your experience? How many children do you have?
3.
Three
my
girls?
Kids, no, 2 girls and a boy.
2 girls and a boy.
The boy's my middle kid. I have a 32-year-old, just made 32. She's getting her PhD at Washington University in St. Louis. And my baby girl, Maisha, is a senior at Ball State right now, and she's majored in elementary education. And my son is going to Indiana Business School to become a computer programmer. And that's my middle child. That's that one right there.
Single? No.
Yes, he's single. He's single. He stays he stays here, right off campus on New York Street, right up by the Pizza Hut, whatever that place is, right on New York.
What? You said New York? I'm off of New York. Oh, Pizza King.
He's a King, yeah.
Pizza
but
King.
he lives on New York. Yeah, 1, 2.
So because I'm on New York and Linden.
Well, he's,
Like,
if you're coming up Bethel and you turn on New York,
right on New York?
it's the second house.
The left on New York or the right on New York? Because the right takes you towards campus.
No, the left.
Okay, so he's going to the housing,
Yeah.
Oh,
And it's the second house right off the corner. It's that white house with all the little pretty green trimming around the house.
That's good. He keeps it up.
Well, he lives here, but he works in Indianapolis.
So
He's in school in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
It's just that he signed the lease before all these things went into place. He didn't think he would get the job, and He got it.
Yeah.
But he had already signed the lease.
These things happen.
Yeah. Okay, so what's kind of like your definition of truly from experience with raising your kids in Muncie and then in Indianapolis, and just kind of what's your history with New Orleans?
I just would like to say you have to definitely have a love for young people. You have to have a lot of patience, and you have to enjoy it, and you have to let the kids know that you enjoy what you do. And you cannot take the kids serious. You know, I mean, not serious. That's not the word. You can't take it personally. You know, you have so many kids from so many different backgrounds and so many different cultures, and you have a lot of kids who aren't raised the way you may have raised your kids. You know, and especially now, they dress differently, they talk differently. Some of them are just totally out of control, but you don't take that personally. But you set your standards very high from the beginning. You let the kids know what you expect of them. And then myself, I always ask my kids what they expect, like from their health classes, you know, what are some things that they would like to see covered, and maybe we would cover just because they have an interest in it, you know. And I ask them what their goals are for education, because sometimes their goals aren't the same kind of goals that you're doing, and that may cause a conflict. So I always set my goals from day one, and I let them know that they're here and they're not going any lower. You're going to have to come where they are if you're not already there. And because of that, sometimes kids may think you're mean, you know, the little quotations they give you, but it's because you're trying to prepare them for the real world. And once they leave these walls called school, they will be out there in the real world. And I just think it's my job to help prepare them for the real world as much as possible. And that has to do not only with covering the information that they're going to cover in the books or in the class, but also giving them encouragement and, you know, helping them to see some things that I may see that may be causing them to go down a wrong road. So, you know, normally I try to encourage those kids even more so, and try to give them some challenges that may make them come back to where they need to be, where everybody else should be, you know, get on that road where the standards are so they can prepare themselves for the real world and be ready for it. And I just want to believe that I had a hand in that.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the reasons why I kind of wanted to go into teaching, because I wanted to kind of change the way kids are, what's going on now. I mean, I don't know what has got the big change with the attitudes and things like that, and having to try to deal with
for you to
those.
make a difference in a kid's life, you have to sometimes do some background. You know, you have to go into their records and stuff. And, you know, a lot of these kids are from one-parent home, you know, and a lot of them are from homes where they are the parent. You know, the parent is not there, so they got to go home and take care of little brother and sister. And they're angry when they get here, you know, and they'll tell you, you know, I don't care, you know, nobody's taking care of me, and nobody's helping me. Those are the ones that give me the biggest challenge, you know, and those are the ones I probably get closest to, because I know there's no one else there who may pat them on the back and say, hey, good job, you know, I'm really proud of you, because of the situation at home, you know. And then it's just a trend. I mean, you know, we got pants off the butts now, and the piercing, and the, you know, and the talking all crazy, and, you know, instead of saying present, you know, what's up, you know, you know, cool and all that kind of stuff. So you got to kind of relate to the kids as much as possible. Not dropping your standards, but just letting them know you understand where they're coming from, you understand the culture, why they're doing what they're doing. But while you're here, let's kind of, you know, put that together to bring your standards up where it'll help you when you get out in the real world. Because when you go apply for a job, you really can't talk like that, you know, and you can't be having your pants off your butts and all that kind of stuff. And that's why Mrs. Williams would like to see you with your pants up, you know, and talking a little bit more intelligent, and all the stuff in the eyebrow and all that kind of stuff. I said, you know, because if you go apply for a job, you always give them a real life situation, and you just let them know if they're going to apply for a job, and you walk in there, and they look at you, they may have already said, not here, I don't think so, you know, and you wouldn't want that to happen, because you may have a lot to offer. You know, you may have a lot up here, but no one wants to hear it if your appearance is so that, I don't think so, once you're here.
Do the kids seem to understand those lessons?
Some do.
They talk back when you give them that kind of advice?
Very few do. Most of them will listen. And even after listening, if they don't think that's something that would help them, they'll just say, yeah, right, Ms. Williams. Yeah, okay, okay. Something like that. But, you know, you'll keep on enforcing it. And keep enforcing it, you know. Repetition is good.
Down the line, we'll get it.
Repetition is very good.
You mentioned that the kids with difficult home situations are often the ones that you get closest to. How does that come about, like your relationship with them?
You tend to, like, maybe before class starts, you know, those are the ones who come in and you say, hey, girl, look at you today. Boy, I like that outfit. You know, always giving them something positive, you know, compliment them. Or maybe you see something during class, or even out, like in the cafeteria, like I'm on duty in the cafeteria or something. Or maybe in ISS, you see them getting in trouble. I'll always walk in there and kind of sit beside them and say, now, why are we in here today? You know, is this a place we really want to be? And then they'll tell me the whole scenario. You know, I wouldn't be in here because so-and-so did this. And I'll say, well, did we learn anything from this experience? And they'll say, yeah. I said, well, tell me, what did you learn from the experience? You know, because if you didn't learn anything, you might be here again tomorrow and the next day. So I always ask them, you know, what did you learn from the experience? And is it something that you want to go through all your life? Or, you know, would you like to make this the last time you're here? Or is this something that, you know, you're going to make a career out of? You know, every day I come here, I'm going to see you here. You know, but I go talk to them, especially if I see them in ISS or get in fights all the time or something like that. You know, just put something on their mind to think about. And that's what you tell them, you know. Let me give you something to think about. Maybe you may whisper something in their ear, you know. Keep on going on this pad, you may wind up in the penitentiary. You know, do you really want that to happen to you? And if you have kids later on, do you want them to say, you know, my daddy's been in jail for the last 10 years, and I'm just seeing it for the first time. You know, this happens, and it's a pattern. You know, you know that pattern. So when you see that happening to some of the, in the lives of some of the kids, you know, you just try to prevent it, and you kind of put something on their minds to think about. Or just give them a challenge, you know. And normally those who, you know, if you call home or something, it'll make a change. You know, you say, well, I know I won't see you here anymore, will I? You know, something like that. Or just say, well, Mrs. Williams is really disappointed in your behavior. You know, I'm so disappointed in your behavior that I never thought this could happen to a person like you. You know, I mean, I picture you president of the board one day, but you'll never get there if you keep on being here, you know. And, you know, you just put something on their hearts. And sometimes it works. And, you know, I have, actually, I have 3 of my former students here. The girl I talked to today, she was one of my former students on my track team. And she, you know, when she first got a job here, she said, oh, Miss Williams, it feels so good to be here, you know, knowing that, you know, I had you. And you were so encouraging when I was, you know, in your class. And I thought, okay, how many years ago was that? Because they think you remember everything like it was yesterday, you know. I may have had her 10 years ago, and they'll talk to you like it happened yesterday. But she did tell me that, I said, because I remember you. She's married now, but I go back in the book. I said, but you were so quiet. I hardly knew you were in my class. She said, yeah, but I was so honoring the rest of my classes. She said, the first day of class, you just kind of scared us, you know. Sometimes I'll act like I'm real nice, and then one day I'll walk in and everybody's acting crazy, you know, and I'm thinking, okay, I've given them too much leniency, so I'll walk in and I'll hit the desk hard as I can, or blow the whistle so loud that everybody's doing this. And I said, okay, now that I have your attention, this is the way I want it to be from now on, until I say, okay, now you can relax and, you know, last 5 minutes of class you can talk, but I will not give you that choice until you do what you're supposed to.
Yeah. That was going to be my next question. When do you draw the line between, I mean, because you know you got to have a friendship to gain that trust from that student to kind of, for them to open up their ears and listen to you. When do you, has there ever been a situation where you had to break that barrier as far as like a child reacting out because he took you as more than a friend that, you know, he saw you in a different view rather than a
professor or a teacher or something, they want to get personal.
Right.
Yeah. And you just have to draw the line. You know, like sometimes you have a kid who don't want to call you Miss Williams. They'll come up, well, yet Sheila. And I say, okay, now you don't know me that well. You know, we don't have that kind of relationship. I don't ever want you to call me Sheila again. It's always Miss Williams to you. Always. Until you finish high school and got a job, you know, and something like that. But right now, it's always Mrs. Williams. Don't ever get on that personal level with me anymore. Because if you do, you're out of here. And, you know, you just, got to let them know. And sometimes they'll go even further than that, Like maybe, what happened probably 7 or 6 years ago, I remember distinctly, because this little guy called himself having a crush on me. And every day he would come in and leave me a little note, and he'll say, I like you, Miss Williams, or, I sure would like to take you to dinner or something.
Oh, my gosh.
And then when I got the letter for dinner, I asked him to stay after class one day, and I said, I was joking with him at first. I said, now, if you're going to take me to dinner, where are we going to go? Because, I'm a very expensive lady. You can't take me to McDonald's, any place like that. I said, do you have a job? And he would say, no, my daddy gave me some money. I said, you got to get money from your daddy? I said, you're going to come pick me up in a car? Or do I have to come pick you up? Because if I do, that's it. All bets are off, And that particular day, he laughed about it. But then about a week or two later, I realized this little boy was really serious, and that didn't work, because I kept him after class one day, and he told me that he would do anything to take me out. He would take his daddy's car, and I said, oh, honey, it's all wrong. I said, for you to do that, you have to have my permission, and you should want that feeling to be returned. I said, but it's not. I said, I'm in love with my husband. And I said, I'm so in love with him, I don't think I could ever have a date with you. I said, and the only way I would have a date with you is if you take me and my husband together and all 3 of our kids. And you can't even afford me. How are you going to afford all of us? I said, honey, you're going to have to go somewhere else with it. So I called his house and talked to his parents about it. I just thought it was time for me to go a little bit further than him, because he was just, and his father told me, oh, you're the person he talks about every day. I said, well, if I am, I think you guys need to talk to him, because I think this is getting a little bit out of hand, and I don't want to have to take him and have him transferred to another class, but I will have him transferred to another class if I think it's not, conducive to his learning experience, because he's blocked out learning and he's blocked in something else, and that's not going to work.
We always joke about that. Like, you're going into secondary ed? Oh, you have all the guys cracking on you? And I'm like, no, it's going to be a level, and I'm not the draw at the very beginning. I'm like, I'm not.
This is why we have so many, even on this morning's news, a teacher in Carmel, I don't know if you heard it, that has gone to prison for 10 years for molesting one of his 15-year-old students, and then that's because of the high school level. But sometimes, like one of the little girls you see coming here, have you noticed when she leaves out, she's going to have on this little top, so like this, she got this little thing, little earring or whatever you have, right? You're hanging up, and she thinks that's cute. The guys are always saying something to her, looking at her, and now this is middle school. Now just think of what it's like when you're in high school, and they're much more developed, and they have male teachers, and sometimes they do that purposely, and then
look at that attention.
Or like the incident that happened in Carmel, it may have been going on for 2 years and nothing, and all of a sudden, this person was at as weak as, they were weak at that time, and gave into it. It's not professional, and of course, he's lost his job. Now he has to serve a prison term. They say he's only going to serve 4 years, but still, I wouldn't want that on my record.
No way.
I just couldn't see myself, even if I was in high school, I couldn't see myself having an affair with a student. And then most of them, they're caught right there in the building. That's the thing that surprises me. If you're going to do it, invite them to your house, but right here in the school. In the broom closet, in the... It's just sad. But anyway, it happens. But that's why you always have to make sure you stay on a professional level. Don't ever get where the kid thinks they're on the same level with you. You always have to stay professional, no matter how you feel. And if you think you feel that way, you need to keep it to yourself. Don't ever let a kid know that you drop from being a professional.
Can I have a vacuum?
Happy Valentine's Day.
In your opinion, how important is family to education?
I'm sorry?
How important is family to education?
Oh, family is very important in education. It's important to how they learn. I mean, if you took a survey or took statistics, it would probably show over 70–80% of the students who are from homes where the parents are encouraging or the parents are helping them with their homework, parents come to their games. These kids probably have the best self-esteem, they learn better, they're the ones who will go on and succeed in life. That doesn't mean that you may have some that these things never happen to them, that they wouldn't succeed, but they have to really want it bad enough. You know, they have to be self-motivators, and you don't have a lot of that. You know. But we have quite a few kids who I think would do much better in school if they had parents to back them up. Or they were from homes where there was more unity in the home, you know, or maybe they had dinner, as simply as eating dinner together every day, or, you know, doing something together as a family without, like I said, I have some kids here who never see their parents from one week to the next. You know, the parents leave, go to work, when they come home. You know, and you know, they come in here and they say, Miss Williams, man, I used to phone to call my mama. I need to ask her, could I stay after? I said, you didn't see your mom yesterday? No, my mom is at work when I come home, you know. She's home now, asleep, you know, getting up, getting ready to go to work, so I can talk to her. You know, I can't talk to her on my phone, you know, that's supposed to, you know, you let them do it. But it's sad, you know. I have two kids in particular. A girl in my 7th period class whose mother has left them, and that's bad, but she hates her father, but they have to live with their father. And the father's really, I'm not sure whether the father's an alcoholic on one of them trips. You know, sometimes they come home and he's been drinking, you know, and he's cussing and fussing, and then they come here and they don't care about nothing. You know, it doesn't matter. You know, you tell them to do something, they'll say, I don't want to do that. I said, well, you know, you don't really have a choice. You know, this is something that has to be done because it's part of what you need to do while you're here. Well, and then if you don't do it, then, you know, I have no alternative but to see you in ISS. I don't care. I'm going to have to call home. I don't care. You know, it's just like, maybe if you do that, I'll get some attention at home. And Daddy will come and say, you know, he'll take off from work and spend some time with me because I'm kicked out. You know, that kind of mentality. Okay. And then I have another kid who's from an interracial family, and the mother didn't want him, and the father's in jail, so the grandmother has to raise him, and he's just mad. I mean, every time you see him, it's like he's about to, you know, if you look at him too hard, he's ready to go off on you because he's just angry. You know, mother doesn't love him, you know, daddy didn't love him enough to be in the home with him, and grandma is really not able to take care of him because that's the only, you know, person. And he does whatever he wants to do. Come in when he wants to come in. She has no control over him. Gets in fights, you know. And he's a very intelligent young boy.
They always are.
Oh, the boy is so intelligent. He was in my health class, and before I can get something out, he can tell you all about it, just blurt out stuff, you know. And I'm known, you know, we were talking about drugs, alcohol, and tobacco one time. These kids teach you so much stuff that's not in the books. You know, that's street stuff. And one day I came to class, and I was having one of my little PMS days. And he said, Miss Williams, you're always smiling. And he said, today you just don't look like you're happy. You've had a bad day. I said, no, I'm just not feeling the way I normally feel. I'll be okay. He said, oh, I can give you something that'll make you feel better. Within the next 15, I said, boy, look, you know I don't do drugs. Well, no, Miss Williams, it's not a drug. All you have to do is put it in some boiling hot water and sniff it. Sniff it a couple of times. He said, you feel good. This clears up everything. I thought, where do you get this stuff from? But they'll tell you, you know. And I don't write them up for every little thing they do. I said, okay, enough is enough. You know, like that one day I taught, one day a year in my health class, I'll teach a unit on AIDS. And I'll say, today you will learn everything you ever needed to know about AIDS, but were afraid to ask, oh, you already know. and we'll talk about it. And I had one kid who was on the basketball team, and he was a very popular guy, you know, really popular with the girls. And we had finished everything. We had gone through the things that were facts and the things that were missing, and the things that have been explored by doctors and scientists, you know, and now we know this is a fact, you know, and these things haven't been proven, so, you know, we really can't go by, you know, sitting on the toilet and maybe get AIDS or something like that. And out the clear blue sky, he just raises his hand, and I said, okay, Bill, what you want to share with us today? And he said, well, Mrs. Williams, I'm not going to worry about AIDS or anything, because me and my girlfriend practice oral sex, and she can't get pregnant if we practice. I said, okay, thank you for that little bit of information, and it's a little bit too much for us. We didn't really need to know all that, but next question here, let's go, you know, like that.
And the girl's probably dying.
The girl wasn't in there. Oh, no. His girlfriend wasn't in there. But the girls that were in the class with. Oh. You know, but, you know, you can't respond to some things, because if you go, oh, boy, come here, you know, and then everybody's all crazy. You know, you just act like, okay, you made your point. Yeah. A point that we didn't really need to know about, but okay, it's valid, and we'll talk about it after class. Just stay after class for a few minutes, and we're going to discuss it a little more in depth. Next question, you know, go on, because you don't want them to get off key. Right. Because sometimes, if you react to certain things, that's why they did it, just to get a reaction, or to get everybody crazy and laughing, and you know, little kids who are innocent and don't know about nothing, you know, that's what they really want anyway. But, you know, just don't react to it. You know, just make it think, okay, you didn't make such a big impact on this class as you thought you had, so let's go on to something else, you know, and unless you're going to share something positive, you don't share anymore today, okay? No more sharing from you at all. So. No.
I was going to ask, since you were talking about rounding up people and telling people that that's enough sharing for the day, like, what are your discipline policies? And maybe how is that different from when you were coming through school?
When I was in school, you wouldn't even think about saying, you wouldn't think about talking back in. The teacher said something, you did it, that was it. You know, if anything else needed to be done, you go home and tell your parents. But, you know, we have so much openness now. It's sad. But my kids know in the beginning, when I set the standards and give them the rules and regulations, I have the 3 strikes, you're out. First time I have to deal with something, I'll do like I just said, keep them after class a few minutes, and, you know, we'll talk about why this happened and why it shouldn't have happened, or, you know, I don't expect this to go on anymore, and maybe you didn't understand the rules and regulations when we went over them, or maybe you don't understand my standards, or maybe this is not a standard for you, and we'll talk about it. Second time, normally I have another conference, but it's also, I call the parent. I always call the parent by the second time, because by the third time, it's time for me to go a little bit beyond, like maybe after school detention or in-school suspension or something like that. But I always tell my kids 3 strikes. You have 3 opportunities to prove to me you understand my standards for my class, the rules and regulations that I expect of you. And if for some reason you do not follow those rules and regulations, and you do not live up to the standard that you know you should be living up to, then these things will happen. But I always give them 3 opportunities. And normally, I don't get beyond the 3rd. Now, you have some that will challenge you and go beyond that, and those are the ones you just get rid of. At least I do. I'm not going to let somebody stay in my class and disrupt it over and over and over again just because they feel like they can do it. You know, one of us have to go, and it won't be me. So, yeah. And you also let them know, you know, there's only one adult in this class, and that's me. And I have the right to be here because I've paid my dues. You know, I've finished the work I needed to do. I've been licensed, and I've had the experience, and that's why I'm here. You're here to try to go through those same channels to get where you want to go, wherever that may be. But to get where you want to go, you have to go through here. And right now, I'm the big cheese. You know, I'm the chief of the tribe here, and I make the rules and regulations, and somebody makes the rules and the regulations for me, and I have to follow those rules and regulations, and they give them to me, and then there's some I have to give to you, you know, and then when you get your little tribe, you know, your little offsprings, then you can make your own, you know. But right now, this is how it has to be. And you have 3 opportunities to prove to me that that you understand that, and, you know, you're willing to abide by that. And if not, there's some consequences. These are the consequences, you know. But I give them a handout sheet at the beginning of the year that their parents sign and bring back to me for both health and for, just to show you one. The blue ones are for the boys, and the pink ones are for the girls. And now this is just for physical, this is not for health, but it's just some rules that we go over. So I go over every one, and then if they understand it, and they have no questions or no criticisms or nothing to add or subtract, they have to sign it. Then they bring it home to their parents. All in alphabetical order. Here it is, right here. Is this your name? This your parents' signature? Do you remember when we went over this in class? Oh, that's what you're talking about. Okay, you know, something like that. But you just have to make sure you have something to back you up, you know.
Yeah.
That also goes with all these lame excuses they give you about, you know, that's another one that goes here. You have kids who will tell you they have something and they're their own doctors. You know, they have nothing in writing. So I tell them, if it's not in writing, it's not acceptable.
Yeah.
If it's written by a parent, it has to have a date and a phone number on it so we can have it verified. That's for only one day. Anytime after that, it has to be by a doctor. And a doctor's form should look like a doctor's form. You know, it has to be a medical something, you know. And these doctors write anything. You know, this, like this. This tells me nothing. No PE, 12-1302. Okay, why? You know, does the kid have asthma? Does the kid have a broken leg where they can't participate? Just no PE. Why? Well, the doctor said I didn't have, but why? You know, what did he diagnose you for having? You know, I don't know. This told me no PE.
Allergic to energy expenditure.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I used to be guilty of that all the time.
But sometimes these people pay the doctors.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, my kid just, you know, he's overweight or she's overweight, and, you know, they just don't like peas. So could you just get them out for a while? And
Hello.
I've called 2 doctors. One doctor I talked to, I didn't even know how he was in the medical field. Because I asked, I said, well, you know, I'm concerned about one of my students. We're taking a physical fitness test for the next 2 weeks. And I'm just concerned if there's anything that maybe, you know, he needs to refrain from, because, you know, he has a medical thing written by you, but there's no specifics, you know.
Right.
You know, can he jump rope? Can he do sit-ups? You know, what are some things that maybe he needs to... Well, Mrs. Williams, I really don't know what to tell you. The mother told me that the kid had thus and such. I said, the mother told you this? Now, the mother told you this is what the kid had, so you signed the paper. You know, and he said something like it was a busy day. You know, excuse me? No, this kid can run up and down the stairs all day long, but he can't come in here and do an eraser run, you know, or whatever we're doing with our physical fitness testing. No.
Thank you.
Have a beautiful holiday.
Bye.
Pull that shirt down. I don't want to see your rear end. Thank you. Yeah, oh my goodness. I'm so tired of seeing butts. I don't know what's the deal.
I didn't think they would be allowed to wear certain things.
She has a shirt that's long enough, but she has it pulled up. They want to be sexy. Why? But they do.
I wasn't thinking about boys when I was in 6th grade.
Oh, honey.
I didn't have enough boys in my school to think about. I was really small.
All they think about.
There were only about 2 boys.
And that's all they think about. Now this is something, I have a different one upstairs in my health class, but just to give you an idea. On the second time, let's say the second time we have a problem, and this doesn't address all the problems by any means, but for instance, the little girl that came in here the first time, she used profanity one day, okay? Now, it was to another girl, but I could hear it outside of this window right here. And she called her a B-I-T-C. And she said, you know, and I kind of just knocked on the window and I'm saying, come here. Miss Williams, I didn't mean that. I said, no, you probably didn't mean it, but I heard it, you know. And, you know, I've been here 27 years. I have never, in 27 years I've been teaching, I have never had to use profanity for any reason. So, you know, I'll bring her and I say, now, how can you call her a cow or a cat, you know, something nice, you know. Why couldn't you just, thought about something else that wouldn't have been so negative. I said, but I heard that, and that wasn't good. I won't ever do it again. I said, oh, yes, you will. Don't say you'll never do it again. You've done it this time. You've done it before. So, don't give me all that. But here, I got a little assignment I want you to do. I just want to make sure you understand that if I ever hear it again, it's going to be more than it's bringing you in my office and telling you that's not something you need to. And sometimes I'll tell them, where's the Ajax? Oh, I need to wash your mouth out. Oh, please, bring the Ajax here because, that's something we've been using. But she has to write a 1.5-page essay just to show me that she understands what the appropriate behavior should be here in my class. We've already gone over it, but I just want to make sure they understand. I understand what the appropriate behavior should be. Maybe you don't, okay? So you're going to write me a 1.5 why I shouldn't use profanity during class time or any time, And don't come back in my class till this is done. And of course, most of them bring it. And some of them, like I have some kids who are late every day because they can't get the lockers open. So what could I do to lessen the time it takes me to open up my locker so I can get, because, after 4 tardies, they have after-school detention. Some of them can get 4 tardies in 1 week. That's just uncalled for. But some of them come here late because they're stopping to talk to their boyfriends. They got to pass those little letters, and they got to find out what happened upstairs, the latest gossip. So by the time they get all that information, they're running back here and they're late. And then they can't get the lock open. Then they'll come out there, well, I couldn't get the lock open. Okay, this is your 5th time not being able to get the lock open. What seems to be the problem? Because the first 2 times, I will personally go back there. Okay, let me see what you're doing wrong. Open it for me. That's where the problem is. You're passing the 0 on the 3rd number, and you got to go right to the number. Let's try it again. And if I've done that with them at least 2 or 3 times, and this is your 5th time, no excuse here. But, and the last one is why isn't it important to dress out during class activity? They're only allowed 3 no dresses. That's it. And some of them are at 7 and 8 no dresses because they just refuse. I'm going to get my hair messed up. I got a date after school. I just don't feel like putting on the clothes, and I'm going to get sweaty today. Like today is Valentine's Day, Ms. Williams. Have a heart. Okay, I have one.
And it's healthy because I was in the class.
Because I put on my gym clothes, and we had to have one of those old all-in-one pieces that zip it up the front. It looks like little box shorts down here, and a little pocket here, and you're zipping it up here. And they were navy blue. I hated navy blue. So why couldn't they be red or some nice little dainty colors? And then we had to square them. We had to wear those blue skirts and the white. See, I didn't have all that. We didn't have all that when I was in school. But anyway, self-control is another assignment that I give because they have a team sport, then an individual sport, then a team sport, then an individual sport. In between, hi, sweetie. In between,
hey, Missy.
In between their fitness tests and aerobics or something like that. And a lot of times when we're in team sports, they tend to get into arguments unnecessarily, especially those who are very skilled in whatever we're doing. Let's say we're playing volleyball, and you got 4 kids in a class of 30 that can play volleyball, okay? And you get all 4 of those, you separate them, and put all 4 of those and make them captains, and they get so frustrated, because they can hit the ball, but these 3 girls can't, and they get all crazy. They start fussing and why you put her on my team? She can't play on my own. And they just go off. So, you got to explain to them that nobody is here playing for the NBA. We're all here to have a learning experience. And because your skills are so good, we need you to help and assist and be a role model for those who can't play. And maybe you need to show her how you do it so that they can do it a little better. Maybe they, but we play a lot of lead-up games. We have stations. At this station, a kid will throw you a volleyball, and then you will try to hit the ball using the forehand pass and make it go in the basketball goal. They stand behind the free throw line. Somebody's in front of them, make it go and they have to hit it. That station does, for about 5 minutes. And then you have this station where they have a circle, and they have to spell the word volleyball. You have to keep the ball up in that circle without hitting the ground, and every time you hit, you start all over again until you can spell the whole word volleyball. Then you have another station where they practice maybe just hitting the ball to themselves as many times as they can. Then on this circle, they may be practicing with the net. These people are not buying net. They may have a net put up, and then these kids in this group, they have to hit the ball 3 times and then hit it over. Then you have to hit it 4 times and hit it over. 5 times and hit it over. They never get to 5, but we try to compare. But at least 5 times, to everybody on the court and then hit it over. That's to help them to get control of it and stuff like that. So you have to do a lot of that because all they want to do is play the game and half of them can't play it. So you have to go through drills. But they get very, sometimes, out of control when they have team sports. Especially those who can play that particular sport. Like my favorite sport is tennis. I get so frustrated because they hit them like baseballs all over the place. I think, okay, and they'll take, oh, Miss Williams, let me play with you. Come on, let me play with you. And then you try to play with them, and you running all over the court, hitting the ball. They hit it over the fence. Oh, I'm gonna do better next time. No. Give me somebody else who can keep it in the court. But this is just a little activity I give, like maybe after the second time, before they get to have to, go to the office or go to after school too. But they know way ahead of time when we go over rules in the beginning of the semester, after we've gone over those sheets, and I've talked to them, and I've gone back over some of the things that maybe they have forgotten, and then they'll have this, and then after that, we go somewhere else.
How did you discipline your own children when they were small?
Oh, their father. They were scared of their father, But my kids knew ahead of time. We always had family conferences, and we would sit my kids down and we would tell them, you're going to school to learn how to do something for yourself when we're not around. You're not going to school to clown. You're not going to school to act out. You're going to school to learn. And you're not going to school to talk back to the teachers, because if we have to come to the school, you will be sorry. Because we will come there and embarrass you. We will come there in front of your peers. If I have to come and spank you in front of your peers, I will. Don't try me. So we put fear in them before they even started as little bitty kids. And we would always tell our kids, we know you're going to go to school and do everything you're supposed to, because you're going to be a teacher one day, and you're going to be this one. And we would always tell them, and you're going to college. They just automatically believe that that's what they were going to do.
That's exactly what my parents did.
I always did that with them. Well, my oldest daughter, she's a Rhodes Scholar, so I tell you something. She's a straight A student. She was Senator Rhodes, Senator Lugar Scholar. Then she was a Rhodes Scholar, because at one time Rhodes Scholars were only men, but she went 2 years to Oxford University, got her master's. Now she's working on her PhD, and she's always been. We've never had to pay a penny for her. My youngest daughter was our little athlete. She was the gymnast. She started here at Eleanor Cole's when she was in first grade. The lady, Eleanor Cole, was our neighbor. She stayed right across the street. And her daughter and my daughter used to play, and my daughter used to show her some stuff she would do at the gymnastics camp. And my daughter would just do it right along with her. And her mother used to look at her out the window, and she came over one day and asked us, could Maisha come and become a part of their gymnastics team? And, we didn't see the potential, but we said, well, if you see some potential there, go for it. And from first grade, 4 years at Ball State, last year Ball State won their first MAC in gymnastics. She was there. She was all in it. She got second place on the floor. Her best routine was the floor. And she won MAC and floor, so hey, it was all worth it. Paying for her to go to gymnastics was all worth it. She was a gymnast from first grade till she finished at Ball State. Well, she'll finish at Ball State. May 3rd, coming up.
It's funny because my parents have 3 daughters, and I'm the middle child. And it's always like there's always a brain and there's always an athlete, and then that middle child is kind of like a little bit above. And that's the same thing. My younger sister was the brain, though. My older sister was the athlete.
My baby is the athlete. My oldest was the brain. My son, you just touch him and pray for him every day. He was a little rebellious one, He was the one who challenged you, He was the one that the teachers would have to call and say, maybe you want to come by on Wednesday. Just stand out in front of the door, just to let him know you're visible. And then you would come and, you would make sure he would see you there, and then he'd be good for about 2 weeks. He would try something else. He was our little challenge. He's 27 years old now, so he's maturing.
What did you do to work with him to try to get him to behave better and stuff?
Oh, his father, he would come home And we would take things from him. Batman was really popular, and he loved Batman. I mean, Anyway, we would take the TV privileges away. Things that he really loved to do, we would take it away from him. And every now and then, till he got to middle school, he might have to get a spanking, And that kind of helped him for a while. But my husband and I are very religious, and when we would go to church, before we would leave, we would tell our son, the daughters already, we didn't have to do with them, they were always okay, but we would always tell our son, the Lord is not pleased with your behavior at all. And if you continue with this kind of behavior, you might just be zapped up in a cloud one day and we don't see you anymore. We wouldn't want that to happen. That would scare him. We started off as a joke, to just try to get a reaction. But I think it scared him for a little bit, for a while, and he was okay for a good while, till we got to high school and girls and
what we can do to a young man.
Girls are just still now. I mean, you see that. I have students here who come all the time. Can I have your son's phone number, please? And sometimes he'll come here to visit me, to stop by or something. Is that your son?
Always.
And I don't know the rappers and all that, but he looks like some rapper, I guess, that the kids know. And they thought he was, you might know who the rapper is. I'm sorry, who the rapper is. But anyway, they would say, your son is, whatever this rapper is. And I said, no, honey, if my son was him and made his kind of money, I wouldn't be here. I could have retired by now. But,
I'm trying to think who he looks like.
They would tell me, okay, this is not who he is. He is my son, and no, he doesn't need any more women in his life. He has enough. He has enough. But my husband is a deacon in our congregation, and I guess if you would ask our kids, they would tell you, oh, my parents were real strict. But to us, we wasn't real strict. I mean, it worked out for the best. Because they're all finished school now and, making careers for themselves. And hopefully, by this time next year, after graduation, May the 3rd, and the other one's graduating May the 16th, they'll have their careers and they'll be able to take care of themselves. Just what parents want for their kids.
See, my mother would have answered it the other way. They'll be able to take care of us. I mean, my father and my mom.
No, we never told our kids we wanted them to take care of us. We have paid our dues. We can take care of ourselves. We want them to be able to take care of themselves. In case something happens to us, we could know that they could take care of themselves. I mean, it would be nice if they, paid the mortgage off on our house or something, but it's not a requirement. No, I don't care if they never give me $5 for a tank of gas. Just knowing that they're doing something to take care of themselves. Because a lot of kids now are still at home. I mean, I got friends who have kids 30 and in their 30s, and they're still home.
Really? My sister was embarrassed to move home for about 6 months after she graduated.
I mean, it happens because sometimes they can't find jobs, and you have to pay rent. If you're going to stay somewhere else, you have to pay rent. And, sometimes they do stay home, but no, mine won't be. I mean, the one that's home now actually stayed here off campus with the gymnast for the first 4 years, but this year, because she did her student teaching in Carmel, she moved back home because it was closer. So.
It's right there.
It's right there. It's right up the street from us. We're right there at 96, and she teaches right off 116th Street. So it's close. Don't expect nothing from them, just that they grow up, be independent, and be able to take care of themselves. Mom and dad can take care of themselves.
When your children were growing up, there were black teachers in the school systems by then, right? You said your oldest is 32?
Yeah. My kids, when we were here, they went to Burris Laboratory School. And at that time, there was only one. I can't think of what her name was. Dr. Greenwood. Dr. Greenwood, I think, was the only black at Burris when my daughter Trina was there.
Your daughter's name is Trina?
Yeah.
My sister's name is Trina. You don't meet very many Trinas around.
Her name is Trina Rachel.
That's good.
But I think Dr. Greenwood was probably the only black teacher at Burris during that time.
What was your relationship with the teachers?
I knew all of my kids' teachers. I visited quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And being in the school system, when my kids were at Burris, they had spring breaks when I didn't have a spring break. Mm-hmm. And when I had a spring break, my kids were in school, which made it good because I could go visit, and pop up. And I knew most of the teachers. I would talk to them.
So it's a pretty good relationship. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. With no disrespect on any levels or anything like that.
None whatsoever. And I went to Ball State, so, I understood a lot of things that went on at Burris that, don't go on in the regular public school system. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do any of your students' parents have that kind of relationship with you? Do they ever stop in?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness, yes. I have a student, as you can see, she brought her baby for me to see, and I had to go buy a baby gift. Because they all, of course, they come visit all the time. Like I told her, I have two of my former students who work here now.
Yeah.
Kenya.
Oh, look at her.
Kenya works here, and one of the girls on our basketball team work here. And
that little baby's adorable.
Feeling like this when she came to school this morning? Why didn't you just stay home? You were sick, but Mama wouldn't let you stay home. So if you go home now, you're still going to be missing school, right? So you don't feel well enough that you can stay till the end of the day? Sure. Now let me tell you what's going to happen. If the nurse takes your temperature and she doesn't feel that there's any major thing wrong, she's going to send you right back to class, and then you'll have to stay. Okay? So I'll be nice, because today is Valentine's Day, and I'll let the nurse make that choice, okay? But if she makes it, you have to live with it. Is that understood? And why do we have on this room? You keep forgetting. Do you need to write something to help you to remember? Okay, let's not let that happen anymore, okay? You look all nice with your red and white on, and you're going to have all that stuff on. Okay, give me a name. So what seems to be the problem? The sore throat and stomach ache. And we'll check sore throat and we'll check stomach ache. Okay, let's go see what she says. Have her sign it before you come back, okay? And we're going to live with whatever she says, we're going to live with that, okay? Okay, hurry up back. No. Hey. Nurse is this way. Okay, I'm sorry.
I like how you did that. I like that. It's kind of like instead of just just writing a note and just sending them there, you kind of let them know you got to. Yeah.
I mean, once you get to know your kids, you know those who try to pull a wool over your eyes. Because if she was the kind of kid who would just be trying to get over, I would say, "Oh, you're gonna be okay. If you feel bad by the next period, then go to the nurse. But not about your go."
So what are they doing right now? Just out there, just running around, or not running around, but
my kids. I have a student teacher right now.
Oh, okay.
And he's supposed to be given a physical fitness test, but that doesn't sound like a physical fitness test. I maybe need to go look and see what he's doing. But anyway, when you guys finish, I want to take you on a tour upstairs to show you what goes on up there too.
I don't have any more. Really,
You mentioned that your family was really religious. How have you trained your children religiously?
One of my daughters teaches Sunday school, and she's director of a singles seminar up in St. Louis, and we're all Christians. And my youngest daughter is a tutor at our congregation in Minneapolis. for those kids in our congregation who need help, you know, to catch up in certain things. She's one of the tutors. And my son just comes. he's not as active as the girls are, but he's been trained well, so he knows.
What did you do with them when they were young?
We went to church every Sunday morning, Sunday evening. As I said before, my husband is a deacon in our congregation. I'm one of the teachers for the ladies' Monday night Bible class, and we go on Wednesday nights. And whenever we went, our kids were with us. And to tell you about that, we have probably had a perfect attendance for the last 10 years, but no, unless somebody was absolutely sick. But my husband and I and the kids will always sit in the back, and me and my husband be in front. We still do. So.
What church are you at there?
Church of Christ, Kings of Terrace Church of Christ.
I've heard of that. I'm at New Life. Well, when I'm going home, I got my New Life.
In Indy? That's on Kessler. Oh, Kessler.
That's the Eastern Star is like the the connection.
Okay,
yeah.
I know where Eastern Star is. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I go to Kings of Terrace right there at 30th and Caroline.
Oh, right there. Okay, I know I heard of it. I was like,
right there at 30th and Caroline. My husband is a deacon there, and I'm one of the leaders' wives. And what's going on? I'll bring y'all up in a little bit.
It's not a really big church.
Well, we have about 300 to 400 members on Sunday morning.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Okay.
Eastern churches don't come that big.
Well, when the weather is bad,
Yeah, everybody drives,
Yeah, that's when we have 40 people. Yeah.
Well, I don't have any questions. Do you have any more questions?
I can't think of any. Is there anything that we've forgotten to ask you that you think is important to both formal education and like, informal bringing up children, as far as like important things to teach them?
Well, I think one of the basic things that we're getting away from, because we're so conscious of making them learn what they should learn out of the books, and that's respect. And you tell the kids respect is something you have to earn. You don't really learn it, but it's something that we need to always put before them, to respect themselves before they can respect anyone else. They do have to respect themselves. And manners. I teach a lot of manners because, kids can be running down the hall and knock somebody's books off, and they just bust out laughing and keep walking and think it's funny, Or just like, let's say you drop your pencil, your ink pen, and I pick it up for you. Nobody says thank you. They just expect you to do it. And I cover that a lot in my health classes, especially when we're covering self-esteem. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't take anything from you to say thank you, but to say I'm sorry. Or, excuse me. Like sometimes kids are just burning in here. We're talking. Excuse me. May I ask something? Raise your hand and be recognized. But a lot of times, if you don't really stop them and bring it to their attention, and they don't get it at home, and somebody doesn't actually bring it to their attention and challenge them with it, they won't learn it. And they'll think it's okay to bump into you and not say, I'm sorry, or not say thank you, or just blurt in on somebody's conversation without saying, excuse me, could I run in for a second? I need to ask you something very important. And you just have to stop them. Because like sometimes if they just blurt in here and I'm talking to a parent or a teacher, I say, they'll come in, Miss Williams, excuse me, I'm talking. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, go back out, close the door, and try it all over again. And most times you don't have to actually tell them. All you have to do is do that, and they know. Oh, that's what she wants me to do. And another thing, as a teacher, as a professor, there are some things you may not know. Kids may ask you some things that you may not know something about, or you're not really experiencing it. It's good to let kids know you're human. I don't know a lot about that, but I could tell you where to go to get some information, or maybe I'll do some research on it, and we'll talk about it next week, Don't make kids think you know everything, and and if you don't know, you're afraid to say I'm sorry, or that was something Mrs. Williams shouldn't have done, something like that. But it's good to let kids know you are human, and you do make mistakes every now, not often, but every now and then you do make mistakes. Yes.
What kind of things do you learn from the kids in return?
You better turn that off. Oh. Kids help you to remember what it is to be innocent. They can be married or coming up in an environment where some of these things that they go through you never had to experience. And it helps me to be more thankful. I always tell my kids, you should be very grateful that you had both of your parents, and you had parents there that cared. You had parents there that were there for you through ups and downs. We may not have always agreed on how things should have been, but we always let you know that we loved you and we cared about you. And this is why we did certain things. It makes me more thankful because I have a lot of kids here who just need a hug sometimes, just need somebody to tell them they love them, they care about them. They're interested in what they do because they have no one at home who does that. And it just helps you to be more grateful and more thankful if you had the opportunity to be in that type of environment. And for myself, I'm grateful to be an Afro-American here because we only have 2 in our whole school. And for our students who are Afro-Americans, they have at least 2 people that they can relate to, that they can kind of feel a little at ease with because they think we understand where they've come from. And someone might come up to you and say, "Oh, you're a sister, we're here. You should understand why I'm going through this."
It's just you and Miss Pryor? Or
Not teachers.
Teachers, okay.
Miss Pryor is the secretary.
Yeah.
Mr.
I saw a I saw a bald head guy. Okay, I saw a black bald head guy.
He's science.
Okay.
And I'm helping you. We're the, that's it. And for a while, at the old Wilson, I was the only one. The whole entire school, except for, I think, one of the secretaries. That's it. I was the only one. So, in that sense, with the Afro-American kids, they have at least somebody, a male and a female, that they can kind of relate to sometimes. They think will understand, why they have to walk like that, I have to give you the high five, I have to do this little shake thing and dap and all that. You can do that with it, and nobody else does that with it. You're okay, all right. Give me 5. So, that works out pretty good. That can happen.
I'm ready to get into it. I know I am. What's the worst experience that you've had with teaching?
Well, I haven't had any bad experiences with teaching per se. I mean, you have challenge. I always say I have some great challenges, but the challenges in teaching haven't been as bad as the challenges in coaching. Parents come in and their kid is sitting on the bench and you didn't play them. They come ball you out, cuss you out, and then you put them out there and you lose the game. This is why they're not out there. But I think my worst experiences came when I was coaching. I coached for 14 years. Volleyball, basketball, and track. Actually, that's how I got my job. They needed a coach. And I needed a job.
Because when I was at IU, that's another one of my majors that I had. I wanted to go into coaching because I love playing ball, and it's just something I was always raised up. My father was our coach since we were little.
Okay. Yeah, my husband coached my son and my daughter. They used to have the basketball leagues at the Y. My kids went to the Y when they left Burris, and he was their coach for Little League.
For like
baseball, PTO and all that stuff. Yeah. And it's a little school over there in Holloman Village. I can't think of the name of the school. Mitchell over here in Holloman Village. We stayed over here in Holloman Village. And my kids played for the Mitchell League, and they played Little League ball, and my husband always was either the assistant coach, so he could be there with them, Except that when Trina got to Burrs, Shondell was her volleyball coach, and Steve and I can't think of his basketball coach, but she didn't want her daddy at the games because he would be hollering from the set. Didn't I tell you to find out?
Yeah.
Mama, don't bring him any more.
Yeah.
She would be loose. She said, I can hear him, but I can't hear my own coach. Yeah, coaching was probably my greatest challenge because parents could be very cruel, especially when you're not playing their kid, even though you tell them why, it's like, anyway. Sometimes you have to get away from that mentality of winning at all costs because you got to put the people in who you think will help you win the game and not just let them play but then I got to a point where I let kids play because they want to enjoy the game. And that's something that took me a while to get to because you do want to win, and then your supervisors, they look at that, your record. Okay, you have 10 losses and only 1 win. Maybe we should get somebody else to coach the team, so in that sense you want to win, but because of middle school, the kids, you do want them to enjoy the game and you don't want them to just play at all costs, just because of that winning mentality. This is a time when they really should enjoy what they're doing. You do want to win. But my greatest challenges came from coaching, not so much as teaching. Because in teaching, kids have a choice to make whether they want to learn or not. All kids can learn. All kids learn at a different level. You may learn something on the first day I give it. It may take you a week or 2 to learn it, but all kids can learn. Some kids have decided they don't want to learn. And as a teacher, you have to know when you get a student like that, no matter what you do, that kid just doesn't want to learn. And what I do is I always try to give a whole variety of methods. What may get to you may not get to you, but I'm not reaching you, so I have to find a way to reach you. You may do good on written tests. You may only do good on oral tests. Everything I ask you, you can give me the same answer she gives me, but she can write it. You can't. I shouldn't hold that against her. Maybe I have to give her oral quizzes. But some kids do good on objective tests, true and false, multiple choice. Some kids could do very good on essays. Other kids can't even write a sentence, legibly, or can't spell words or something like that. So, just like in that's help, but just like in gym. You have some kids who don't have physical ability. You can't hold that against them because they don't have physical ability. So my thing is, all kids need to at least participate and try. You show me you're trying, that's okay with me because you may not be able to do 30 sit-ups in 60 seconds. You may only be able to do 10.
Can't do the sit-ups.
But you try. That's the best that you can do. I'm not going to give you an F because, you are an overweight kid and you can hardly walk too fast without, getting out of breath, and you can do that one time around the track, no problem, not even stop it. It's not fair. That's why you have kids who are awake. I don't like this, I can't do this. Well, try your best. That's all I expect you. I don't expect you to sit on the side, though, and use that as a cop-out, but try your best. And that's all I can expect of you.
All right. Well, I have all I need.
I can't think of any more questions either.
Okay.
Appreciate you, Miss Williams, for taking time out and
no problem.
No
problem. It's good that I have a student teacher because I would have had to leave a long time ago. But I want to take you guys on a brief tour upstairs.
Okay.
And let you see what the classroom setting is like. And this is something I bought for my daughter. And when I ordered, I just ordered one for me too. But she started her elementary teaching. I bought her one that had her little name on it. And she used it with her little, she teaches second graders.
Oh, that is too cute.
And so she uses it for her little second graders. And I got her one of these little things. It looks like a big rock, But on Around the Rock, they have a scene of little kids going to school, scene of little kids getting off the school bus, a scene of little kids in a classroom. But it's a paperweight, and it's got the little tiny papers that you can just write notes on to put on her desk. And Miss Williams is on there too. So I said, well, since I'm just going to order me one. But your kids are in middle school.
I like that.
One of those little books you get in the magazine.